If you think about it, verbs are really the engine of any language. They're the words that give us action, state, and intention. For anyone who's communicating in a professional setting, getting a handle on them isn't just some academic chore, it's absolutely key to expressing yourself with clarity, with authority, and with precision. So in this explainer, we're going to deconstruct that engine and give you the tools you need to communicate with a whole lot more impact.
What we're going to do is break down the French verb system, and we're going to turn what can feel really complex into a framework that's actually logical and totally manageable. We'll explore how this kind of mastery isn't just possible, but it's really a core part of your professional development and will be guided by a leading Canadian language institution.
And I should mention, this lesson is brought to you by a French Rendezvous, a school that's really dedicated to building linguistic confidence, especially in professional environments. We truly believe that real fluency is built on a solid foundation, and today we're going to lay down the first few essential stones of that foundation together.
So here's our game plan for today. It's structured in 4 clear steps. We'll start with the fundamental building blocks of verbs, then we'll get them organized with the really elegant 3-group system. After that, we'll see these ideas in action in real workplace situations, and finally, we'll map out what your complete path to fluency could look like.
Okay, let's begin right at the beginning. Before we can even think about conjugating, we have to understand what a verb really is and how it's put together. This is the bedrock for everything that's going to follow. At its most fundamental level, every single verb in French expresses one of 2 things. It's either a dynamic action, like travailler, to work, or envoyer, to send, or it expresses a state of being, like être, to be, or sembler, to seem. This simple distinction, action versus state, is really the first layer of understanding.
And every verb is made up of 2 parts. First, there's the radical, which is the stable core of the verb. It carries the essential meaning, like parle from the verb parler. And second, you have the terminaison, or the ending, like This is the part that changes to show person, number, and tense. Honestly, mastering the way these 2 parts play together is the very definition of conjugation.
So, with thousands of verbs in the French language, how do we even begin to approach this task without being completely overwhelmed? Well, the answer is in a brilliantly logical system of classification. How do you bring order to all of that vocabulary? French grammarians actually solved this by classifying pretty much every verb into one of 3 distinct groups, all based on its infinitive ending and the way it behaves when you conjugate it.
Now this table right here, this is the master key to the whole system. It organizes every verb into 3 groups that are way more manageable. The first group, ending in ER, is super regular. The second, ending in IR, has this unique little marker in the plural. And the third group has all the irregulars, which, as we're about to see, often follow their own predictable patterns anyway.
Okay, so the first group is your anchor. It's got the vast majority of French verbs, and the beautiful thing about it is its predictability. The radical, or the stem, almost always stays the same. Just look at the example parler. The radical parle is constant. Je parle, nous parlons, il parle. Simple as that.
Now the second group is made up of verbs ending in IR, but there's a crucial test here. The defining feature is this little infix is that shows up in the plural forms. Take a look at finir. Nous finissons, vous finissez. If an IR verb doesn't do this, like partir, then it belongs to the third group. That is your litmus test.
And finally, the third group. Now, even though it's called irregular, it's way more helpful to think of it as a collection of really common, high-frequency verbs that just have their own distinct patterns. Many of them are irregular simply because they're the oldest and most used verbs in the language. Their forms have just evolved over centuries. This group contains the real workhorses: être, avoir, aller, faire. You absolutely have to master these.
All right, so let's move from these abstract rules to the concrete language of the workplace. How do these verb groups actually function in our day-to-day communication?
Take a look at this sentence. Nous publions l'appel d'offres demain. Here, the verb publier is a perfect example from that first group. It's regular, it's predictable, and that allows for a really clear and unambiguous statement about a future action. In this example, we see a second group verb, réussir. Le service réussit à dématérialiser la procédure. Now, if we were to say, we are succeeding, nous réussissons, that crucial SS infix pops up, confirming it belongs in the second group and powerfully communicating a successful outcome.
Here, we really see the power of the third group. Le comité prend acte du rapport, vous dites la décision. The verbs
Prendre and dire are irregular, yes, but they're essential for official actions. They convey a sense of formal acknowledgement and authoritative declaration. And this is an impersonal verb, falloir. It is necessary to attach a piece of identification. It only conjugates with il, and it expresses a general necessity or obligation. This is an indispensable tool for giving clear, formal instructions.
So understanding these rules is the first step, but how do you take all this knowledge and integrate it so you can build true, lasting fluency? Well, this is where a structured learning ecosystem becomes absolutely essential. At A French Rendezvous, our entire approach is built on 3 pillars. It all starts with personalized coaching from certified teachers, and that's tailored to your specific exams and your career goals. This is supported by our 24/7 interactive platform for continuous practice. And to make sure we're helping every learning style, we provide a full range of resources, from flashcards and visual aids to targeted auditory exercises. You see, our mission goes way beyond just simple instruction. We focus on building the linguistic confidence you need to really thrive in your career. We want to empower you to communicate not just correctly, but also effectively and with authority.
So, we'd like to invite you to take the next step. Enroll with A French Rendezvous for a learning experience that is genuinely tailor-made to help you achieve your specific linguistic goals and really advance your journey.
We've explored the structure, the logic, and the real-world application of French verbs. The final question, then, really is for you. Are you ready to move beyond just speaking French and start to truly command its most powerful and essential elements?